Hi, it's Candice Quinn from Contract Tech, and let me tell you something that might surprise you. I never give free advice to anyone, not even my parents, not even. And before you think I'm some kind of heartless person, there really are reasons why I don't give free advice. And I'm going to share them with you today because I bet that you've been at that picnic or you've been at that family holiday dinner and you're getting asked for free legal advice right and left, right? So let's talk about the 5 reasons why you should never give free legal advice to anyone. Number 1, liability is real and it doesn't care that you were just trying to give some help. Here's the thing nobody tells you in law school. Giving free legal advice still creates an attorney-client relationship and can still put you on the hook for liability, even when you thought you were just helping a friend or just helping your parents. You know what happens when your neighbor takes your quick thoughts about an employment issue and it all goes sideways? Nothing good happens. They can file a malpractice claim. They can file a bar complaint, and they just might find another attorney who tells them they should do that against you. Your defense of, I was just being nice at a cookout isn't going to hold weight against a bar complaint or a malpractice claim. You also don't have malpractice insurance for casual conversations, so you're not even going to have any coverage if this happens. You didn't document anything, you didn't do any research, and now you're on the hook for it. Even if you start with the disclaimer, I'm not your attorney, that just gets real fuzzy real quick and doesn't always hold up because you're the professional and you should know not to provide legal advice to someone who's not your client. Number 2, you're not actually helping them. And this is what always surprises people, but you're not. When you give off-the-cuff legal advice in an area that you don't know anything about or without knowing all of the facts, it's likely to be wrong and won't actually help the person anyway. We all know legal issues are complicated and they are nuanced, and there's a lot of fact-finding that goes in before we provide legal advice. When you're just giving advice in 5 minutes off the cuff, you don't have time to dig into all those nuances or all the facts. You don't even know if the person is giving you all of the information. What actually sounds like a simple landlord-tenant issue might involve fair housing issues. It's really not worth it to give legal advice when you don't have all of the facts. And you're not doing anyone a favor when you're giving them half-baked advice that may end up hurting them more than helping them. A real attorney relationship involves conflict checks, an engagement letter, proper fact gathering, legal research, and documented advice. Anything less than that isn't actually legal advice, it's just your opinion. But the person will take it as legal advice and it could go sideways very quickly. Number 3, it devalues your work as a professional. Let's keep it real. You went to law school. You paid a lot of money. You spent a lot of time to learn the law. And this person's coming along asking you for free advice. Do they ask the plumber for a free plumbing check? Do they ask the electrician, hey, can you just quickly rewire this switch to be a 3-way? They don't. They value their time because those professionals won't do the work without payment. When you give away legal advice for free, you're sending a message that your time and expertise aren't that worthwhile. And guess what? People internalize that. The same person who wouldn't ask the plumber or the electrician for free work won't hesitate to ask you because you're giving it for free. This isn't about being greedy either. It's about recognizing that legal work is work and should be compensated. You wouldn't expect to work at your job for free, and no one should expect you to work for free. Here's the kicker. Once you do it once, they will keep coming back for more advice because you will give it for free. So this is never just a one-time thing. It will continue over and over again. Number 4, it gets messy and doesn't respect boundaries. If your next door neighbor is getting divorced, do you really want to know the ins and outs of their divorce? No, I don't. Like, that's awkward. You want to help your friends and families. Like, I get that. I do too. But that's not how I can best help them. And when I get involved in their personal disputes or their financial issues, it doesn't end well. It just becomes awkward. There's a couple of scenarios that happen. You give them the advice, they follow it, and it doesn't work. And that doesn't look good for you or the relationship. Or scenario 2, you give them the advice, they don't follow it, and then they're mad at you because they didn't follow it. So that also didn't work out well for you. They will still blame you even when they didn't follow your advice because you weren't clear enough or you didn't do enough research. And the final scenario is you give them the advice once and now they think you're their attorney for life and that you're always on call. And so you're always the person that they call. This is when the a relationship stops being a relationship and just starts being a legal clinic. But if you maintain professional boundaries, you will preserve the relationship. You can still be a supportive friend or family member. Like, hey, that sounds really tough. Like, I'd love to give you a referral to an attorney who specializes in this area. And this approach doesn't interfere with your personal relationship with the person. Number 5, and this is the most important to me, you need to protect your license and your career. Your license to practice law is your livelihood, and no one's worried about protecting it except you. Why would you risk it for a casual conversation, for a neighbor, for a family member, even for your parents? Bar complaints can come from anywhere, including well-meaning people. Even if the complaint is ultimately dismissed, you've just sunk a lot of time and money into it, and it's always going to be on your record. You can also risk unauthorized practice issues if you're giving advice in states you're not barred in or on areas that you're not working in. It's just a recipe for disaster to be giving advice and risking your license. Also, your employer might have rules against providing advice outside of the work environment. They may not want you to take on side hustles or side work, freelance work, and so even giving free advice may violate their rules and risk your job. Your career is just too important to put at risk because it's awkward to say no. And I also have a bonus for you. This is a bonus tip. Number 6. Most of the time people don't listen to you anyway. They want to hear what they want to hear. They might have already asked an attorney, didn't get the answer they wanted to hear, and now they're coming to you. And if they don't get that from you, they're still just not gonna listen. Okay, so we covered the why you don't give free legal advice, but how do you get around giving free legal advice? Well, my personal favorite is to give a reference to someone else. You get to help another fellow attorney, and you get to help this friend or family member, and everybody wins in that situation. So I like to keep a Rolodex of attorneys that specialize in different areas in, specific geographic places that I can refer people to. So if someone's looking for a divorce attorney, I got one that I can recommend. If someone's looking for a trust and estate attorney, I got one that I can recommend. It keeps me from having to do any of the stuff myself, but it keeps me helpful and a good resource for my friends and family. I know that I'm helping them, and I know that they can get good quality help from these people. I like to avoid all the explanations about liability or my law license because most of the time people don't care. They just want to know where they can get the help from. So the best thing you can do is point them in the direction of who can help them rather than make the excuses to them. You know the reasons why you don't provide it, but they don't need to know those reasons. Now, in some cases, I will say, I think this is a conflict of interest because of some other work that I'm doing. So I don't even want to hear about this issue. I'm sorry, but why don't you call and then make your referral? So in some cases, I do need to put a hard no on it and give them that excuse, but it always helps to have that referral to give them. You can also tell them that I learned the hard way that mixing professional and personal just doesn't work. I don't really want to know all of your personal business and have to keep that confidential, and then I'll always feel awkward about what I know. So I'd rather just keep our relationship on a personal level and send you to this qualified professional to help you with your issue. And when it comes to like parents and really close family, I also like to tell them that I'm just too emotionally involved to help them. I could do their trust or estate, but I don't want to. I would rather have someone else do it because if I have to be involved in it, I'm going to be really emotional. And I think that's a really good reason, and most people understand that. And if it's just, you just need a catch-all excuse, you can always just say, hey, look, I'm really overextended right now and I don't have the bandwidth to take on any additional work. So let me give you a good referral. And this basically, it does a lot of things at once. It tells the person that you're busy and that you value your time and the work product you give out. It also tells them that you don't expect to be giving free advice. You would expect to be paid for it. And finally, it tells them that they can, find another professional that will help them, and you will help them find that professional. And just because you're not giving them legal advice doesn't mean you can't help them at all. I mean, just giving them the referral is helpful, but also you can be an ear to listen and be supportive. So you might be able to, if it's not a conflict, you might be able to listen to their whole story and express sympathy for what they're going through. You can also help them understand what kind of attorney they might need. Some people just don't know, like, do I need a trust and estates attorney? Do I need a divorce attorney? Those are the clearer ones, right? But let's say they have a property dispute. Do they need a litigator? Do they need a real estate attorney? They may not know. And so you can help them figure that part out. You can also provide them with general information. So like you can tell them about a statute because that's a law and they might find some information relevant from there. But just don't give them legal advice that's tailored to their situation. You can also help them prepare for their consultation them with the attorney you referred them to, you can say like, take these, and this to the meeting. Be prepared to answer these types of questions because I think the attorney is definitely going to want to know this. And you can also just give them that emotional support I mentioned. Like, just give them a hug and say, oh, hey, I'm here for you. And I get that this is tough. I watch clients deal with it all the time and it sucks. Here's the thing. I love to help people. And Contract Hack, Candice, gives all kinds of free advice because it's not legal advice and it's not tied to my license. But attorney Candice, she doesn't give anything for free. And you need to follow that same trajectory. So if you're looking for Contract Hack Candice advice, go ahead and schedule a free call with me. Let's find out if we're a right fit to work together for legal coaching or some of my tools and templates. I would love to talk with you. Click the link in the pinned comment or the description below or follow the QR code to schedule a free call with me today. Bye for now, hackers.